Das Game Forum Germany ist eine Veranstaltung, die Nordmedia jedes Jahr in Hannover veranstaltet. Dieses Jahr war auch LucasArts-Legende Ron Gilbert mit von der Partie. Neben einem spannenden Vortrag über die Entstehung des ersten LucasArts Adventures Maniac Mansion hatte sich die Adventure-Treff-Redaktion natürlich nicht nehmen lassen, die Legende auch selbst vor die Kamera zu zerren. Hier der unvorbereitete Interviewversuch unserer Redakteure Basti, Benny und Marco.
So, Ron, thanks for being here. Thanks for being with us. And how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
4.
Right answer. Right answer. Ron, I think that's your second time to Germany. You were in Germany once for total annihilation, I think, in Munich, but it's now the first time really that you have time to look around a little bit in Germany. And I think on your blog you said you want to see a lot of lederhosen. Did you see any already?
I have not seen any lederhosen yet, and I'm really disappointed about that.
I'll give you a small hint. You're in the wrong part of Germany for this.
That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah.
They should have told me this before I got on the plane.
Yeah.
Because I could have gone to the right part of Germany for my...
Yeah, Munich wouldn't be that bad, but you didn't have time when you were there.
Yeah, well, I went to Munich, and I spent 3 days at the Munich airport. So that was really about all that I got to see of Germany. That was like 6 years ago. So.
Yeah, probably worth another trip. If the Oktoberfest is there, you can see a lot of lederhosen.
I really want to come back.
Yeah, perfect.
I want to come back.
Thanks a lot for your talk. At the moment, you are working at Double Fine with Tim Schafer at another project, but you're not allowed to say anything about this at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not really going to say anything about the project now. So I don't know when I will be able to, but it'll blow your mind.
Is it anything that adventure gamers probably would like?
I hope they do, but I don't want to say too much though.
So storytelling and character development is still something that's in there?
Yeah, but you know.
I see. It doesn't go anywhere there, but it's okay. I just had to. It's the first.
You can just dub whatever you want.
Yeah.
Over
Okay.
my
Perfect. That's hilarious. So how is working at Double Fine? Are you and Tim Schafer working together, or do you have your own team, or are you just brainstorming at the moment? How is work there?
I have my own team that I'm working with on this project, and Tim and I talk a lot. I mean, we talk every single day, so we're just talk a lot about the project and brainstorm things and whatnot. But I do have my own team that I'm working with.
Okay, and I think at the moment Double Fine is developing 4 different projects, I think. So at the moment they're shifting from big projects like Psychonauts and Brutal Legends to 4 probably smaller projects. Is this a trend that is common at the moment in the games industry to focus more on unique gameplays and probably unique ideas, but be a little bit less big budget and probably more focus on creativity and innovation?
Yeah, you can really do that with the downloadable stuff because you're not dealing with these $20 million budgets, and publishers are more willing to take a chance on something if they're only spending a couple $1 million on it. And Double Fine has always done very unique, interesting, highly creative projects, and I think this is really just perfect for them because they can explore something like Costume Quest, and then they can go do something really different like stacking, and then the other 2 they're coming out with. So I think it's perfect for them in a way.
Okay. Is there any timeline for your current project in terms of release or anything?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No timeline.
Okay. But you're pitching the project to publishers, or are you financing it yourself, or?
We're kind of beyond that stage right now. So.
Sounds good.
Or
sounds
not.
Or not. I think it sounds good. Let's move on to your talk you held today about Maniac Mansion. And Maniac Mansion is very famous for introducing the point-and-click interface to adventure gamers. It's actually the first adventure game that really made use of verbs and the point-and-click type of graphical user interface. Thinking of today, at the moment, a lot of adventure games are coming out at the iPad and touch devices, like Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition, and also the Telltale games are ported to iPad and so on. Do you think that these devices could be another important platform for classic adventure games?
They really could be. These devices are really made for point-and-click adventures. I mean, they're better than using the mouse in some ways. You really just touch the things you want. And hopefully they will, in a lot of ways, because I think people use things like the iPad and the iPhone differently than they do the computer. It's something they carry with them all the time, and They want a game. They just want to come in and play for 10 minutes, and then 2 hours later play for another 10 minutes. And adventure games can work really well with that kind of play model. So I really hope it does. And Monkey Island did really well on those platforms. So.
Do you know whether LucasArts is thinking about doing more classic portations to the iPhone or iPad?
I have not heard anything from them about whether they are or not, but I would love them to remake the original Maniac Mansion, and I would love to go in and fix all of the design problems that I talked about in my talk today, and take that adventure design and bring it up to the Monkey Island standards in terms of, no dead ends and no death and all these things, which I think you could do actually very easily. I think it's just pulling a couple and pushing a couple of things here and there, and that would really be fun to do.
Okay, let's hope that somebody at LucasArts listens to this and just signs you up. You also have worked a little bit on the Tales of Monkey Island series with Telltime. At least you brainstormed a little bit and
It was just brainstorming, which is the best thing to do because you can go in there and throw out a whole bunch of ideas, but you don't actually have to do anything after that. So it's a lot of fun to do the brainstorming.
Any ideas whether there will be another series?
I don't know. I don't.
Would you love to do one?
I would like. The thing I'd really like to do is the real Monkey Island 3.
Okay.
The actual game that should have been made after Monkey Island 2. In my head, I call it Monkey Island 3A.
Yeah.
Because it can't be called, Monkey Island 6. It has to be Monkey Island 3. So it's like Monkey Island 3A.
How much is finished from Monkey Island 3A?
For the design?
For design.
Not much. I just know the general story arc for it. Then I would change it. I wouldn't make it verbatim, but no real design has been done.
And nobody at LucasArts ever talked with you about a possible Monkey Island?
No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Probably they do. Wait for this video to go online. That's.
Do you take a look at the adventure games and the process of adventure games in the last last 15 years after you leave LucasArts? And what do you think about the developing of adventure games in the last years?
I think they're kind of uninteresting in a way, and I think what I'd like to see a lot of people who are still making point-and-click adventure games is to stop remaking all the stuff that was done in the 80s and 90s, but really try to advance that stuff in some interesting ways. And I look at a game like Limbo, which was very successful as maybe a spiritual successor to some of the adventure games. It has a lot of problems. There's a lot of things I don't like about the game, its linearity and all that, but there is something that is resonating with gamers today with that. And so I think it would be good to kind of figure out how we can get adventure games back to being something that a lot of people want to play.
There are hidden object games much easier than the classical adventure games with complex puzzles and puzzle rows, like in Monkey Island 2, for example.
Well, I like very classic adventure game puzzles. I don't really like the puzzles that you find in games like Seventh Guest, where you're just presented with this arbitrary puzzle you seem to have to solve, and I feel like I'm doing a Rubik's Cube or something. I like the puzzles found in things like Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion, where you really are manipulating things in the world that make as much sense as it could in an adventure game. I like those kinds of things, but I think if you want to address the modern audience, you probably have to change that a little bit. It seems like a lot of modern game players, people who are playing a lot of Xbox and stuff, they want more focused. Yes. They want to be more focused. They want to know more about, well, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And that's kind of what adventure games are not. Adventure games are about figuring out where to go and figuring out what to do, not being told those things. And so some of that stuff may have to change. I don't know if it has to. I don't know if a lot of players today have the patience for a regular adventure game?
Yes, the reason why I ask is adventure games in the days you made Monkey Island 2, for example, were the best-selling games in that time, and today it's a very, very small genre, and some people think don't want to invest money into such projects because you do not get much out of it.
Yeah, that's
And,
true, very true.
How can the adventure genre be translated in a way that the player also like it, like in the days before?
I don't have an answer to that question. I wish I did. I really wish I did, because that's like the $1 million question in some ways. It's like, how can you do that? And while I enjoyed Limbo a lot, and I think Limbo is a very good game, I don't think that's the way to make adventure games in the future. It was very linear, just these very simple physics puzzles, and you know, and I would like to not see adventure games just become Limbo. And Limbo's very successful. It has been, so you know, I hope that just doesn't happen. But I don't know how to fix adventure games. I wish I did. I wish I knew what I could do to that classic format that would make people want to play them again.
Okay. What do you think about games like, I forgot the name, Tim or Double Fine is working on with the Matushka figures?
Yeah, stacking.
Is this interesting for people who like classical adventure games?
I think it will be, because at Stacking's core, it is an adventure game. It's about solving these puzzles to progress the story, to get the outcome you want. You just solve the puzzles very differently. You know, you solve them by stacking little dolls that all have a special ability that they can do. It's an incredibly cool game. It's very, very clever, and I am really interested to see how adventure gamers react to stacking, because that is a really good way to take adventure games.
I read a pretty old interview with you online where you talked about an episodic concept you had.
Bo and Fletcher?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was it. So do you still have ambitions to one day make that? And
Well, I own the URL, boboandfletcher.com, so I can make the game at any time. Because the most important thing is about making games is you own the URL for the website, so I do have that. But yeah, it's just an interesting idea. I don't know that I don't think it was a revolutionary idea. It was a very standard adventure game, but it was episodic, and nobody had really done episodic stuff at that point. But Telltale's, you know, forged that trail really well. So yeah, maybe.
so would you try to do it on your own, or probably ask Telltale?
I don't. I have not thought about Bobo and Fletcher in so long. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working with Tim right now, so if I went and worked with Telltale, then Tim and Dave would fight.
So what's your viewpoint on episodic adventures in the whole?
Episodic adventures, I think, could be really neat. The problem I have with episodic adventures is they do take the game and they force it to be a lot more linear. Because you play episode 1, and then at the end of that, you then play episode 2. So the episodes are just chained together. And what I would rather see with episodic, and I know this is technically very not easy to do, but I'd rather see the episodes just build the world up. So, you know, in Monkey Island, the first episode would be, you know, Guybrush getting to Melee and going through the town and you know, picking up that first quest with the 3 pirates, and that would end the episode. And then episode 2 would be him on the quest with the 3 trials. But it just, all it did was just open the world up. It wasn't a linear thing. That does require that people played episode 1 before they play episode 2. So there's lots of problems with that, but that's the way I'd like to see episodic adventure games. And the thing about episodic is that's interesting to me would be to be able to do them really fast, like every week. So it's more like watching a television show. You get, a new episode, it's Tuesday, it's up, it's Tuesday, it's up, and the next one. So you can tell these things where you might play an episode for only 15 or 20 minutes, or maybe an hour, but people don't feel like they have to spend 4 hours on an episode. if they really were just small things.
So you think it's there has to be a strong and fast workflow, like for example the South Park series?
Yeah,
where
it'd have to be very fast. And I mean, Telltale has that down really well, but it would have to be even faster than that to be able to do them every week.
Thank you for the interview.
Sure. Is your mic on?